talking about how you can milk and maximize a single trade and make the most money out of that trade. Basically, I'll be giving you how I do it and how you can do it too. So let's get started. It all depends on your entries. Yes, your entry points. So if you're in my Signal channel or you're my students, then you know how much I emphasize on having a good entry in your trade. Why is this? So that you can, so you do this because if you have a good entry, you will have the chance to have a smaller stop loss and a bigger target profits. And it determines how much you make or how much you lose if that trade goes against you, and how much you make if that trade goes in your direction. Now, there are three types of entries I use when taking trades, and I'll list them out for you. So number one is the swing entry. That is basically swing trading. Now, when you're taking a swing trade, you want to have a smaller lot size. You're not going to use your usual lot size, so you can half it or even go below half it or cut about 30% off. Depends on how big the lot size is. Basically, it should not be more than 50 pips, and it goes from like 25 to 30 pips stop loss. That's the stop loss settings. And you do this because you want, if the trade goes against you and you're using a smaller lot size, that means you insulate yourself from the loss. You don't take as much as you're taking if you're taking it with your full position. Remember, you have to embrace the uncertainty. You have to embrace the uncertainty while trading. So, and your target profit should be anywhere from 200 to 500 to 600, nothing less than 200 pips on that trade. That's one thing you need to know. Why the trade goes in your direction and keeps off it, that's much pips in profit. Let's say your take profit line is at 250 pips and you get 0.20 at 250 pips. That's like, I can't give you an exact estimate, but that was nothing less than $300 to $400. Now, that's just a small instance I'm giving you, since we cut our lot size in half. Now let's go to the second type of entry, and that is the short-term entry. And it's not scalping, no, because you're targeting anything from 60 pips and above, and nothing more than 120 pips or 150 pips or maybe 180 pips. And in this kind of trade, you get to take a stop loss of anywhere from 10, 8 to 20 pips. It shouldn't be more than 20 pips actually. And in this kind of trade, you can use your full stop loss. You can use your full lot size. Sorry about that. You can use your full lot size because you have a smaller stop loss, so you lose smaller at it. If you lose like practically the same amount you lose if you are taking a swing entry and you cut half of it, it helps you balance your risk to reward ratio over the long term, and helps you make the most money out of that trade. And having that full lot size also helps you when the trade goes in your direction, which it will, make the most money out of that trade and maximize it. Now, here is the chief of them all, where you get the most money and milk the market, and that's your re-entries. So, you get your re-entries. You can do it on your short-term trades and on your long-term trades, but here's the thing. You have to know the direction of the market and have a good re-entry point. So, I'm going to give you an example. Okay, I trade on the one lot size, and we're going to take the GBP JPY. We're buying the GBP JPY, and we're taking this thing, what do we call it? We're taking one entry, and we're going to use a swing. We're taking one entry. Our target profit is at, let's give it 400 pips, and we're taking our first entry on that trade. Now, when you're taking your first entry on that trade, as I said, when you're taking a swing entry, you don't need to put too much lot size in that, because you know where you're headed and you know how much you're going to make from that trade. And once the trade goes in your direction, it has gone 100 pips, 200 pips in your direction. You know, market structure, if you understand market structure, you know that if you're on an uptrend and you're buying, market doesn't move in one direction. It doesn't start going up. It goes up, come down, goes up. It forms a higher high, higher low, and a higher high again. And now, here's the trick. To get to your entries, you have to buy at a higher low. And that's the thing. You have to know the particular higher low. Because when you're taking long term, markets can break that previous higher low it formed while going down to another lower low, while not breaking market structure. So you have to be concise when you're taking your entries on this. So when you take that, you add another lot size, and here is a few rules for adding an extra lot size, an extra entry into your trade. Number one, your trade has to be in profit and at break even or above break even. Basically, personally for me, I prefer it if it's above break even. Let's say trade has gone 200 pips in profit and your stop loss is at plus 50 or plus 30, then you can add a trade. Then your second entry should not be bigger than your previous entry. Yes, your second entry should not be bigger than your previous entry. Why? In case the trade goes against you, you don't want it to offset your wins and turn that trade into a loss, or cut your wins way too short and you didn't really make anything out of that trade. You get me? Your second entry should be smaller or the same. If it's smaller, it's better because you know what you're doing and you're still going for a long target profit. If it's the same, it's still the same thing. You make the most money out of that trade and you milk that trade. Now, here is where people get it wrong. People just they want to have the initial, they want to make the most money out of that particular trade, out of that one trade. They want to make 1 million out of one trade, and then they put big lot sizes. And putting that big lot size in that trade, if the trade goes against you, you lose your accounts, you blow your accounts, or you lose more money, and your wins are not offsetting your losses, they're not overlapping them. So you just keep losing money and you're wondering why your account is not growing. And I've taught over 60 to 70 people, and I can tell you this: people come into forex trading with the wrong mindset. They don't have that long-term mindset. How would you feel if you start with a $200 account by this time, and by next year August or next year December, you can be able to make a withdrawal of about $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 every month? And this is just categorically speaking, like based on how everybody's growth rate is different, but let's just give you something to measure up to. And you can make a $2,000, $3,000 or $4,000 withdrawal monthly or stuff like that. Of course, it's a very big pay raise, something you can't get in normal 9 to 5 jobs. But people don't think of it like that. I think it's because most of the videos about forex glorify the short-term making money amounts, and then you just jump in and want to make that sharp money. But you have to treat you're trusting a business and exercise discipline. Your account will keep growing, and that's the thing. In the long term, it's how much you get to keep and increase your account size, not how much you get to make on a single trade. Because the risk is 50-50. If you're taking a bigger lot size, you stand a chance to lose bigger too. Don't ever forget that when you're taking a trade. So that's all for this video. I hope it has helped you grab everything. And yeah, here's my plug. So if you want more, then take advantage of this ongoing August discount. It's just 40,000 naira for the class. It's going back to $200 now. And actually, you get to save about 50,000, because I think the last time I exchanged dollar, as of that was July 27th, I exchanged at 470 to a dollar, 470 naira to a dollar. So basically, 50% discount is supposed to be like 47,000, but I just kept it at 40,000 for preciseness. Now, imagine, as I've explained this video for you now, but you're only seeing my face. If you are in my signal, if you are my students, then you get access to the full video where I explain it on my screen. I tell you where to take your re-entries and how to take your re-entries, what to see before you take your re-entries, and when you're taking a trade. So, like and retweet, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're on this, join my free Telegram group, follow my Facebook page. I don't know where you're going to be seeing this video from, but just make the best out of it. Like and follow. If you have any questions, hit me up at Lazy Trader with a double R at the end, LAZYDERR, and that's on Twitter. Same with Facebook. Actually, my Facebook page is also Lazy Trader, and on Telegram you can search for my free channel, that's Trade with Walter, and still DM me on Telegram at Lazy Trader with the double R. So that's it. Hope you found value in this video, and if you like, share and give me feedbacks, and I will make more of this that will help you improve your trading game over time. Thank you.